What's up guys, Erica here from Highway49RC. It's an awesome day because I'm gonna go pick up my very first piece of machinery that I have ever bought with my own hard-earned money. Yes, I am so excited. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is yet. I know I teased you in the thumbnail and haven't said anything about what it is yet, so you're gonna have to wait and see until we get there. But yeah, I am super excited. Before we can make the journey though, gotta get some gas real quick. I also want to go grab a quick bite to eat from the grocery. Grab myself a scone. I'm ready to hit the road. Let's head to the California coast, baby. I am so excited. We have made it to the coast. You can see the water there behind me. It's such a gorgeous day. The drive was so pretty. I mean, it's just lovely out. So I'm just a few minutes away from his place. I don't know if he'll let me film while I pick it up or not, but we'll have to see. So I guess with that, let's go check this thing out. There she is. Check that thing out, guys. This thing is so cool. So how did you end up with this?
Don't trip over that. I collect lathes and I use all kind of different lathes, and this is one that I bought probably 20 years ago and used it, and then have other machines, so I don't need this right now or anymore. It's a production lathe, and so it has a stand that you can feed tubes in. Okay. You know, and cut cut it off. Mm-hmm. This has real high grade bearings in the headstock. Okay. So they're, God, I can't remember if they're class 5 or something. They're hugely expensive. But, I remember. You can feel, I mean, it's.
Oh yeah. I read a post on, I think it was Practical Machinist forum online where someone got one of these all rusty. They rebuilt it and they said that the spindle bearings cost them a fortune.
They would cost you a couple grand or more. There's a handle over here if you want to take a look. Down here. Okay. So you release that, and then you could pull this up to get the belt in the other position. Okay. So I need to.
Oh yeah, sure enough.
You know, I don't have a review. And that's all I ever used, really. And this, I don't know what that does. Okay. And I couldn't find a brochure, but you can. Yeah, I was looking online. It's hard to find much information on these. Yeah. Do you know there's a site called Lathes UK? I went there and read all about these on there. Yeah. It's got feed cooling, it looks like, but I'd have to set up a. Yeah. So I have to set something up for that. Yeah. So on the bottom, you got the drain over here. There's a drain and there's just a plug in there right now, and so you'll put the it goes down to that pipe down there, and you'll just put a container and a pump, and you'll hook up right here. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward then. Yeah, and that really helps for getting a finish. I mean, this thing must have cost 30 grand when it was bought, and this is really high-end German stuff. So you got 2 tailstocks. I think it's a 1 Morse taper in the tailstock. I don't have any tool holders or anything to fit that, but you can get those
I'll find stuff on eBay.
Yeah, and so you have a whole set of collets.
Awesome.
Okay, you've got you know, a drill truck. I don't know what they. Why I have these in there, because they're not the right.
Those will go into the
those
turret.
will go into turret. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then cross slide.
Got the cross slide.
But I don't have a tool holder.
That's fine. I'll find my own.
Yeah, it's all German quality. I doubt if that's hardly ever been used in production.
I mean, it all looks pretty good.
Oh, it's.
I'm impressed for having been built in probably the 60s.
Yeah, yeah, no, the best machines were built in the 60s, 50s, from the 40s to the 60s. The finest, you know, in German is just unbelievable. I mean, it's like Hardinge or Schablin. So.
This is the quick cutoff?
Yeah, cut off. So if you're making a bunch of axles or something, you'll go in and you'll cut it to size, and then you'll come over, just cut it off, and keep on feeding tube.
Looks like it needs a handle made for it.
Oh,
which is
it'll be a metric thread, and just get a threaded rod.
Okay.
And a
yeah, it's no problem for me. I may end up making some of my own collets depending on what I need.
And you might need a 3-jaw chuck or 4-jaw chuck if you wanted to. And that's I think a standard threaded spindle.
Okay.
I was looking to see if I had a chuck for you, but I don't have anything with the back plate that has that thread on it, but they're readily available.
Got the lathe in the back. It's about lunchtime. Rumor has it there's a hot dog place around here. So I'm currently trying to find that. But we're gonna get something to eat. All right, almost couldn't find the blasted place, but we found it. It's called the Dog House. Great name. Let's see what they got. Hello. I saw on your menu online you have a bratwurst?
We do, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll get one of those, please.
Sauerkraut on that, or?
No, thank you. I got the root beer also.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Look at that thing. So many fries as well, it's ridiculous. That is really good. Now that was some good freaking food. That is one of the best bratwursts I have ever had. And the fries were like super fresh as well. Really, really good. But alas, it is time to head back home. Get this bad boy safely transported all the way back across the California Valley. Oh, guys, we made it home. Woo! Oh my gosh, there's so much construction in Sacramento and Davis. It is ridiculous. Oh my God. So glad to be out of the car though. So glad to be done driving. Now I get to try and unload the blasted thing. Ugh. I got some ideas though. There she is, guys. She's laying on blocks of wood on the ground right now. Honestly, that went way smoother than loading. This actually worked really, really good. Now the big question, how do I flip this up? That's gonna be an interesting one. Actually, I have an idea. Let's see if it works. Way too freaking smoothly. That was awesome. Did you see how it just spun right around? Look at that. Hell yeah. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and a lot easier than it was loading it. Although to be fair, that would be a real pain in the ass to try and do backwards. But hey, we did it. Woo! Go in the garage safely. This is a perfect machine for me. I mean, it's tiny. I can move it by myself. I think this was a great purchase. I'm so excited to get it cleaned up, get it ready to use. I can't talk much more about it today. I'll see you guys at some point. I don't know when, because I'm going out of town, so. Alrighty, so until this point, I have not done a very good job of explaining what it is that I have just bought. I'm back from vacation now, had a very nice one, it was great, and I've had time to relax my mind, get a little bit less excited about this so I can actually explain what this is. This is a rambled turret lathe built in Germany in the late 50s to late 60s. The whole purpose of this machine was to be a very fast, high production lathe. So making lots of very small parts very quickly. Most of the time is put into setting up the machine to have it work the way you want it to, getting all the stops and such set up the way that they need to be in order to produce the parts. And then actually producing the parts goes very, very quickly. It's one cast piece, so the headstock and the lathe bed is all one piece, making it super rigid. It's got a quick action collet closer here. The maximum spindle through bore is 3/8 of an inch with the collet closer on. I think if I take the collet closer off, it's a maximum of a 1/2 inch. That's what I was reading online. It's got a 3-step V-belt drive pulley. I'm going to be replacing the belt. I just need to try and find some link belt for it, because to get the belt out to change it, you'd have to take the whole headstock apart, take the spindle out, because as you can see right now, it's not going to come out, obviously. It's captured in the cast headstock by the spindle. I got a fairly comprehensive set of collets, as you can see down in the bottom left. I got a strange 5/16 hexagon one. I got a 3/64, 9/64, 5/32, 11/64, 3/16, 9/32, 5/16, 11/32, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, and I think this is a custom 7/8. So this lathe uses what are called dead length collets to hold the work. It can also fit a chuck on here. This is a standard thread for a chuck. But the way the collet works, it's a 3-fingered grabber, basically. It's got a slot here that fits into a key in the spindle. Put that in, find the slot, tighten this wheel on the back, and that will draw the collet into the spindle. As you can see, it's getting pulled in there. And then it's just a matter of adjusting it to the point that, like so, grab the work. So now that bolt is not going to come out of there because it's the correct size collet. And to release it, I just move the lever back the other way, and now it comes free. Makes it very fast for changing work pieces and also for feeding stock through the back of the headstock into where you're going to actually work on it. Now what I think is the coolest part of this whole lathe, and the reason that I got it to begin with, is this turret tailstock. This is called a capstan lathe. The reason it is called that is because the turret rides on a ram, as you can see. So essentially the base of it does not move. The base of it is bolted to the table. It can be slid back and forth, but there's no control to move it back and forth. What gets controlled is the movement of the ram. Now when you bring it all the way back, the turret ratchets around to each next tool position. So since this is a 6-position turret, there are 6 adjusting screws on the back that adjust the travel of the ram forward. So as you can see, there's probably about, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch forward there. Now if I bring it to the next position, look at how much farther that comes forward. That's because of a different adjustment on each of the screws on the back of the ram. So each position can be set up to be a different depth. That way you know that every time you're in that position, it is always going to drill or machine, whatever it is, to the exact same depth every time on every part. So cool. I don't know how exactly it works and how it stays rigid, but it's really freaking cool. The tooling holes on it are 5/8 of an inch in diameter, so I'll probably have to get a couple more chucks, and then I can also make my own tooling adapters, and there's all sorts of stuff that I can find on eBay for this thing, so I will be getting tooling as I need it. Nice little weigh cover there. It does have adjustable weighs. It's got an adjustable gib in it, which is great. It's got 7 oilers on the entire thing. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's a 7th on the back of where the, I don't know what this is called, the knob is basically. This is what's called a cutoff slide or a forming slide. Essentially, I can put a tool post in either of these 2 T-slots and move them into the work so I can use it for making a quick cutoff cut, or I can use it to make some sort of forming cut. It's missing the handle, so I've just put a bolt in there for the moment. But it also has an adjustable gib, 2 oilers here, and an oiler in the very back as well. Now the next 2 attachments to talk about are the cross slide and the tailstock, which I did get 2 of, which is pretty cool. The tailstock has a number 1 Morse taper in it. It's quite self-explanatory. Crank the handle and it moves in and out. This here is a lock, and just like the cross slide, it has a cammed locking mechanism on it. So all you gotta do is push that lever down and it locks it down. Same thing on the tailstock. Now the cross slide is very nice indeed. It also has adjustable gibs on both axes. It is a compound cross slide, which I was thrilled to find out when I went to pick it up. There are 2 10mm nuts in slots underneath this axis here. And what a compound cross slide is it swivels, basically. And I was thrilled to find this out because that means I can also cut tapers, meaning I could make my own collets if I so chose. And the last thing to note about the cross slide is that the increments on the hand wheels are 5/10, so 1/2 thousandth. Each mark is 1/2 thousandth of an inch, which is very impressive. And I gotta say, like, everything feels really smooth, feels really tight. I did take some time and put some WD-40 on stuff. Obviously, that's not the oil that I'm going to be using in the long run. But just for now, to get things moving, get things freed up, because some things were a little stuck and sticky, it works for now. Everything feels really tight. I took this axis of the cross slide off, and underneath you can still see all the hand scraping marks. You can still see some of the hand scraping marks on the lathe bed, which is incredible. Basically, this thing has not hardly been used at all. It's in great condition. It's extremely serviceable with all the oil ports. It's got 2 oil ports here on the headstock also that I forgot to mention for the spindle bearings. And along with all the oil ports, it's also got the adjustable gibs. So, I mean, this thing is just extremely high precision, tight tolerance. Everything is extremely well built. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this. but I am just so thrilled. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what it is that I have purchased. I'm super excited to start using it. I'm not going to make any more videos about it until it comes up in a project, because that's not really what my channel is about. And really the stuff that I'm going to be doing until then is just getting this all kind of ready to use, getting things oiled, getting a new belt on it, setting up something to hold all my collets, figuring out like what tools need to stay here on the lathe table. I want to get a low profile chuck for it. I need to get a tool post, need to get some high-speed steel tool blanks so I can start grinding my own tooling. Again, I'm not going to do a video on that. There's plenty of videos about tool grinding on YouTube. But if there is a special tool that we need for projects, I will obviously show that because that's part of the project. The one thing that I'm not going to cover is the gravity-powered bar feeder. There's some sort of automatic bar feeder, which is part of what this is, and there's a pipe here. I don't know how it is all set up exactly. I've not really seen any pictures of it or how it's supposed to work. That's also what this thing is for, but again, I'm not going to cover that because I don't really know how it works exactly, but I may set it up in the future. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed coming along with me on this adventure. It was a very long journey for me, big adventure, and I had a great time. So if you did enjoy and you are looking forward to seeing the Rambled in use in the near future, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Leave a comment down below what you think. And if you want to keep up with what is happening on the lathe here, head over to my Instagram at highway49_RC. My Discord server also, I'll be posting pictures of this and, you know, how it's going on there. And if you want to support the channel, do become a channel member or support me on Patreon. Both those things would be greatly appreciated. I think that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me on this tool purchasing journey, and I will see you all in the next one.